Hello and welcome to episode 36 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough with the Iron Teeth faction here in cycle 57, day 14. Got a bad tide coming in about 2.5 days, and our beavers are still hard at work constructing the Earth Repopulator, which is just about finished. There is a certain amount of work hours that have to be completed and spent on this. So even though the materials have been there for quite some time, they still do have to do a little bit more work. And we're going to hope to launch this off at the end of today's episode for the first time. But there's still so much that needs to get done. And we're going to have our work cut out for us. We're going to start by, first of all, making sure that this can reach from the Forester and from the Gatherer flag. And we're going to plant some more blueberries, even though this last little bit they can't quite get to. I will place that with canola, just two little pieces there, because you know we can never have too much of that. But as at least a few of you have pointed out, the Earth Repopulator does require some berries to be set off, and currently we have 49 of them, and I'm pretty sure, what's the number, 500? So we're really going to need to make sure we have enough of that stuff, and that's not going to be a quick process, so we want to make sure we're getting that going just as fast as we possibly can. In fact, we have so many pine trees that we really don't need because we have basically full pine resin storage. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have probably, let's see, how much can this reach? Wow, this can reach all the way back there. That's something else, huh? Well, I'm going to have a whole bunch of these pine trees cut out because we simply don't need this many. So all of these are going to be removed. Not that we really need the wood anyway, but we're just gonna make sure that they can take care of that. Other stuff we have to put in, well, we don't have to put in, but it would be very helpful to have some additional framed flywheels and other fun stuff like that. But for how things are going right now, I don't think we really need to be worried about that so much. We just focus on doing some other things that might be smart for us to do. We're not going to do any more enormous construction projects, well, at least not on the order of what we've done previously in this playthrough, so we probably, to be perfectly honest, could get away with unplanting all of these trees right here and turning this into farmland. Because if we want to get our beaver numbers up, we're going to need to get some more food production going, regardless of how much we may or may not have stored up right now. So, let's also check and make sure these farmhouses are prioritized by haulers, because it was pointed out in the comments that mine were not. So that probably wasn't helping. Yeah, see, some of these already were. But it probably wasn't helping during our, shall we say, crisis last episode before that. But it looks like these are all good to go right now, so very good there. Got some more berries planted once again. That's going to be a whole thing for later on that we will eventually have to do more stuff with. But outside of that, we'll go ahead and speed through the rest of the night here. There's a bunch of decorating and other fun stuff that I would really like to be able to do in this episode, and you guys have been asking for a while. So once the sun comes up here, we'll take a look at a mod that I added for today's episode after talking about it a little bit in the previous ones. So take a look in the decorations tab. Now we've got two more things. We've got lanterns, we've got the Torii gates here. So, lanterns. We got 6 of them. And these are really cool because unlike the... Okay, that's the wrong one. Unlike these lanterns, which require their own space, these lanterns can be placed directly on paths. Well, most of them at least. Indoor lantern, which doesn't have to be indoors. It's just what it's called. These things can go on the paths. Garden lanterns, same deal. Modern lanterns with a different shape. And then these guys, the paper lanterns. All these things have area of effect bonuses, and they can just go directly on the paths. Look at all these beavers. Look at them go. So I thought that was great. So we'll be adding some of those, and of course we have these guys. Fun fact, if you didn't know, Timberborn actually had one of these in the original build. And this is, I think, if this text is to believe, the original model. So different things have different categories. This one's based on an actual gate that exists in Japan. that is buried partly underwater here. So, I don't know. I just thought this stuff is cool. And, of course, gives us some nice bonus opportunities as well. You can see down here. I forget what the actual number is, but it's pretty substantial. And then, of course, actually, hold on. Before I say something wrong. Okay, so this takes care of the normal vanilla lantern need, which is great. And they're pretty cheap. Wait, hold on. One of these have dynamite? Wait, the garden lantern? Why does the garden lantern cost dynamite? That's, okay. Do you have to blow something up to do it? Treated planks. And then, of course, the paper lantern requires the dynamite and logs. All right, well, I really like these guys because the coloration, if it's the same as it was in Update 4, the coloration is really, really nice at night. And this is going to be a really easy way to just line all of our paths here. So let's go ahead and just find some spots where this is going to fit nicely. Like right here. And put 4 of those right in a row. And that's going to really illuminate that path really nice. That's going to look really smart. Really, really good stuff. Then, of course, we have these other smaller ones we can do. But I really like the look of these things. Figured that would be a fun thing for us to do. We can also put them here. But not this way because they do occupy the vertical space above any given path that they're placed on. So you can't intersect them with the buildings. But anything that doesn't have the upper reaching stuff like this campfire, it will allow you to do that, which I thought was fun. So we'll just do that on the front of these guys. And then the same deal here. And then here, just so everything matches. Looks really, really good. And a lot of beavers are going to be walking through this all the time, so they will get that aesthetic bonus. And then up here as well, I don't know if we want to do the paper lanterns, but I think maybe... Let's see, how many of those treated planks do I have? Let's see, the triangle lanterns. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do the square ones? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I like these square ones. So, let's see here. Just take this right there, right there, right there, right there, and right there. So, that is also going to get almost every single one of our houses. I think. Yeah, it sure does. So that is going to be fantastic for that bonus, even though, you know, they already had it. It just is going to look so much better. It's going to be really nice. So, stop saying so. I know. So, what we're going to go ahead and do, since we have all these other projects that have to get done, is I think we have enough to do another set of vertical flywheels. Of course, we have to have this on top. They need to be able to take care of that stuff, and we do have the option of just building this with a simple extension of what's going on here. With a single platform, they can just build down, and no problems whatsoever getting that accomplished, which is going to be nice. So that'll be their big project once they have, you know, these things all ready to go, which they do. We just can't see the glow yet because it is daytime. But guess what? It's almost not daytime. So we'll go ahead and let that look cool. Oh, you know what? I cut down those pine trees and then I replanted them because somebody didn't pay attention. Spoiler alert, it was me. So we're just, you know, we're just going to remove the ones that have been replanted because that was absolutely my fault. And here we go. Sun's going down. Let's hit that fast forward button to get a little bit faster. And hey, this is finished. We're going to have to put that path in. But now let's see. Look at those light up. Look how nice that looks. Look how wonderful that is. That is some really, really nice looking stuff. And then, of course, up here as well. Doesn't really have a whole lot of area of effect stuff in terms of lighting, but it does really improve the aesthetics of all this with some very nice color. And then, of course, they're going to continue working on that. But the Earth Repopulator, surprise, surprise, 500 berries, 500 treated planks, which, again, is not going to be a quick process. But we're going to hooked up anyway, and they're going to start... I don't need to have 8 beavers working on this, especially since we don't have the stuff to begin with. But we will have 2. They're going to go ahead and take care of that very slowly for us. And hopefully by the end of the episode, that'll be all good to go. Yeah, so they're going to be cutting these trees down. This is our explosive storage that I don't think is going to stay here. But, you know, long term, that's just going to be what it has to be. So, 11 minutes into this video, we are going to enter time-lapse mode once again while I work on adding some other decorations. We're going to get these different flywheels and stuff built and hopefully start doing some more farming, because while we do have almost 6,000 food right now, that's not going to stay the case as the population continues to increase and recover after last episode's shall we say, mishaps in beaver population. So, by the time I'm done yapping here, you'll hopefully see a whole lot of additional stuff added in a nice way, and we'll be able to appreciate the beauty of the game with the help of some fantastic aesthetic mods and improving things along the way. Alright, so... not a super long time lapse in terms of days covered, but in terms of stuff actually accomplished, gotten some pretty good stuff done. We've got these lanterns up over a whole bunch more places. They're not going to fit everywhere, but I did think that would be a nice thing to add. I put these little street lanterns in front of all the farmhouses and a couple of other things as well, like these frog statues. And we're still in the process of clearing land for the farm here, but we did plant some additional blueberries. They are all in range, before anybody asks, of the gatherer flag here. And that is also going to be helped by these 4 gatherer flags down in this spot. It actually looks like I missed one, so let's go ahead and put that there. And we got, during the bad tide, this flywheel operating and this horizontal junction in place. Not quite producing treated planks fast enough to get this one finished in time, but we are looking really good on power capacity, as this is already pretty much full. It's kind of in limbo right now in terms of supply versus demand, because, of course, this is getting refilled since it was being pumped out during the bad tide. But outside of that, we've got our Earth Repopulator, about 133 each, averaging out to 132.5 on materials out of 500. So, again, it's going to take time to get that fully operating. I'm not sure we're going to have enough berries or treated planks without doing another long time lapse. But I wanted to point out, look how these lanterns are swaying. I know this is in like turbo speed, so we put it in one-time speed. That looks really nice. It's like there's a little bit of a breeze going. I just really like the look of those things. And then these street lanterns do actually have a lighting effect on the path of the ground and textures around them, which is cool, but I'm not going to put them on every single path square. Oh, this one also kind of gets flooded because this design was bad, but I haven't fixed it because I kind of don't want to, so we're just gonna leave that alone. But it's these little tiny improvements here. And then, of course, we have the gates themselves, which are going to be a little bit harder to put in than I thought they would be, because they require space on both sides of a path. And, of course, this one from Itsukushima is actually designed to go, or intended to go, in the water, but I think this is going to be just like a little bit too deep when it's full. But you know, I'm not entirely sure what to do with this one, because there is supposed to be, you know, a religious significance attached to these, and it's not just like, oh, all right, we'll put some decoration down thing. But I would like to have at least a couple of these somewhere, if we can find a decent place to put them. So, yeah, if you've got an idea, please do leave that in the comments. We have 7 different varieties, but as a reminder, there are only 3 tiers of well-being enhancements that come with them. So, like, these 2 fulfill the great one, these 2 fulfill the gorgeous one, and these 2 fulfill the ordinary one, and this one is just kind of a bonus as the reproduction, like I said before, of the one that shipped with the, well, shipped as in, it wasn't, they don't ship games anymore, it's all digital distribution, whatever. You can't have the box on your shelf anymore. So no collector value for you. It's just a license on Steam or GOG or Epic or whatever. Anyway, all of that completely irrelevant stuff aside, just let me know what you want to see and which ones you think we should build, because they do have very different appearances, and these guys do use bot parts, both of the great metal and the great wooden ones. So we would have to make factories for those bits just to produce these two. But I'm still not planning on doing bots in this playthrough. Whereas, you know, these guys, much simpler construction. So, moving forward for the rest of this episode, we do still have plenty of other stuff to take care of. So don't worry. Don't worry. It's just going to be one of those things where we're going to be doing bits and pieces of stuff. And then at some other point, probably another quite long time lapse. So, like, the runtime of the episode isn't really going to be very long, but it's most likely going to end up being, I don't know, somewhere close to 2 hours worth of actual gameplay. I say, where I'm just sitting here. But you get the idea. I think the bulk of our waiting is probably going to be depending on all of our berries. Yeah, that's what those things are called. So, there's so many things that have to go just a particular amount of time before we're going to know if what we've done is sufficient. Like food, for example. We have 8,200, and we're slowly getting more and more of these rations taken care of. And I'm not really sure what the issue is going to be with this, because I think algae rations we've completely overproduced. Same with fermented mushrooms, because I don't really have any other storage for this stuff. I didn't really plan on that. This should be enough if our production is smart about how it works. But like these other things, like the corn and the eggplants, we're actually running out of the crops that are coming out of the ground to produce these things. So that was part of the reason why we have this section over here. And when we build stuff over here, it's probably going to be mostly that. Because right now is a really good opportunity for us to take a look at what we've produced and what we can't manage to keep in stock. So kohlrabies, while they're really not that great of a food, it's still something that the beavers will eat. And we're running a little bit low. But I think my primary concern at this point moving forward is probably going to have to be the corn and the eggplant. And then maybe to a lesser degree cassava. Because take a look at the ingredients up here. We got a bunch of algae. We have a lot of canola oil. So we're actually not underproducing that, which was one of my concerns. However, because we don't have a whole lot, and actually now we have none as of the time of me starting this sentence, we don't have any corn, we don't have any eggplant. So that's actually going to have, I guess, kind of a false positive on adequate canola oil stocks. Because, of course, you have to use the oil to produce that stuff. Actually, no, the corn doesn't use the oil, does it? I think the eggplants do. Yeah, eggplants use the oil. Corn does not. Okay, so it's basically just eggplant then. That's going to be depending on that, because we know the cassava doesn't as well. Hey, look here. Hey, remember this stuff. The breeding pods don't have berries. I wonder why that is. Because somebody keeps putting all the berries in the Earth Repopulator. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and just pause this so we can actually have the rest of these beavers get bred again. And cool, the vertical framed flywheel is ready to go. And this is just about filled back up. So we should see more of the water going through here, which is going to generate more power. And then in turn start filling this up, which is exactly what has happened. Just a slow process that, you guessed it, takes time. I also wanted to let you guys know, I do always read all the comments. I can't do it what everybody suggests, but there was a comment talking about putting roofs and platforms over these guys. So I went ahead and did that in a few different spots on the map. And then we've got the beaver statues as well. I thought it would be nice to put up there. And then I forget exactly where it was that I did this, but I came across a comment that was saying something to the effect of, hey, you should make the beaver statues oriented in such a way where they're bonking with their hammers. They're bonking these beaver busts. So I want to do that. I want to find a good spot to build that, because I think that's really funny. And I'm not exactly sure where the best place to do that would be. But I know I'm going to want it to be kind of a front and center thing. So why don't we actually why don't we actually kind of workshop this a little bit? I'm tired of looking at those stupid pause things, but if we pause the game, put a beaver bust here, and then these beaver statues, if you turn them 90 degrees, which I will go ahead and demonstrate here, he's not going to reach him. However, comma, if we go ahead and put in a triple platform, and then you do one of these things, and then you do one of these things, then, you know, that's in prime striking range. Right there, just go bonk, just like that, sound effects included. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. It seems really silly, but I think it's fun. And we'll go ahead and just have opposing pairs here of bonking beavers. So there you go. That's gonna be a fun thing. Hopefully they can still reach this, I think. They might have to build the beaver statues last to actually get that to be a thing. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Got these berries planted. They're going to take some time to grow, like they always do. But let's turn our attention to over here, because there's a lot of wood that we really don't need to be holding onto if we're not going to be doing any crazy additional production of stuff. Minus, you know, the treated planks that we have to build all this other stuff and to put into the Earth Repopulator, which is currently paused, so I don't know where all my treated planks are going, because I don't think there's anything else they're building right now that requires those. I don't know, man. I guess we'll figure it out, unless there's more of those lanterns that I placed and forgot about, because some of those do take the treated planks. Yeah, the modern lanterns, square ones, but I'm pretty sure those were constructed pretty early in the time-lapse, and it looks like they are. Okay, so these busts are done, which means these statues can get unpaused. And you know what? We might as well go ahead and just place these here as well. I did build this during the time-lapse to face out this way, but I think in the interest of symmetry and humor, it's fun to go ahead and put this in here. Like we did on the other side, we'll pause those. Let them take care of that, and then I hope we can get some more berries pretty soon, because it's not looking great. Not looking great over here. So I need them to cut down some more trees, but I don't really want to build more log storage, because we kind of don't need any more log storage. So to that end, I think we should try to find stuff that's going to require using wood to build. And as the population continues to grow, we're going to need some more hauling posts. We're going to need some more various things for them to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in an additional set of, what was that, 1, 2, there we go. Additional set of those guys right there. Nice and easy with the 2x1 overhangs. And that's going to be an additional, how many times am I going to say additional? An additional 4 hauling posts. Which might be a little ugly, but it's fine. We're going to make plenty good use of all of this beaver labor. And they're going to use all the logs, well, some of the logs, and we're going to have an opportunity to get this turned into farmland a little bit quicker, because I still don't want to waste resources. I don't think that's a smart thing to do, because as you can see by these things here, you really never know when a crisis is going to occur, because you thought everything was fine. Preparation is key. So we're going to let them do that. And I'm not going to enter time-lapse quite yet, because I do want to go ahead and get this area more or less transformed into a farm before too long. I guess we'll see what happens. But there's still so much stuff that we could be doing. I think our water production now is probably going to be fine for the rest of this series, now that we have things kind of set up a little bit better with these things prioritized by haulers. But somebody did bring up something in the comments, and that is that having these deep water pumps prioritized by haulers is not the right move. And I think I've taken care of it, but let's just take a look. Oh, I absolutely did not take care of it. Let's fix that immediately. Because the idea behind putting these pumps in close proximity to these tanks here is that you're not going to have to, if you are the beaver working in here, you're not going to have to really go very far. Because, remember, these small tanks are all marked as supply. So, say you're a beaver working in this deep water pump. Your name is Amos Burton here. Hello, Amos, if you're watching. But all you have to do is take your water you pump, walk out, put it in this tank, and come back in. Super, super simple, nice and easy. And then the haulers come and get it, and they put it in this medium tank, which is actually prioritized. And then they take it out of that tank, and they take it and put it into this tank, or this tank, or this tank, or I guess technically this one. It's not prioritized, though, and then the beavers can just drink out of it. So, you know, it's a little bit better of a streamlined situation. Let's actually check and see what Amos does in his workday here. Pumping. Let's see how long he pumps before he goes and puts in the water into that little tank there. I actually don't know if it's going to be the whole workday or not. Maybe just until the thing is full. This also gives us a good opportunity to take a look at the well-being stuff. And most of this is looking pretty good. Campfires, rooftop terraces, obviously at work you're not going to have access to that, but most of the aesthetics are looking really good. The awe is looking good as well, except for the Earth Repopulator. No detailer, no scratcher, no exercise plaza, no mud bath, no wind tunnel. Okay, so actually just kind of sitting here, huh? Alright. Well, that's fine. The pump is full, and the water storage is pretty much full, so not going to have to worry about whatever. But the point is, not walking all over the map trying to deliver water. Everything is looking pretty good. So hopefully these berries are going to go in here for the production of additional beavers sooner. That's going to just turn into a big problem. All right, so we've got planks all got used, and we didn't even make a dent in these trees. All right, I mean, I really hate to do this, but I'm just gonna clear cut. I'm just gonna clear cut these trees, mark them as demolished resources, and then we'll come in here and turn this into farmland, which is going to be a whole lot more valuable. Also, probably should take a look at the coffee situation. We have 2,300 in storage, and I only have, what is this, 4x6? I got these 24 coffee bushes, and I mean, I guess that's enough, because the tanks are almost full, even if we don't have a whole lot of beans to put in the roasters, or whatever the building is actually called. Brewery, there we go. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. These guys, the builders, are probably going to be focusing mostly on this for the time being, which is fine. But I really would like them to come over here and take care of getting these trees out of here, because obviously they're not going to use the wood. So if they can get that taken care of lickety-split, that would be quite nice. Okay, so they did actually harvest a tree there. That's good to see. Other stuff I'm looking at from my notes on here before we get into doing farm building. Obviously, the repopulator has showed up a little bit. People want to see that. That's the end of the episode thing for sure. People actually suggested removing trees for farming, which is what we're going to do. We already checked farmhouse priority. We already built some more holding posts. Built the bonking statues. Put in more berries. The beaver weekend remains to be something that we have to do. But since we have so many building projects that I want to take care of, I'm not going to do it quite yet. But I do think that's going to end up being a really good well-being boost to give the beavers actual time to go and partake in the festivities here. Oh, this is still paused. These wind tunnels. And I don't think we're going to have to worry about that anymore. So let's unpause those. Unpause that tribute to ingenuity. Get stuff taken care of. Because now we have actual... we got storage here. Should be charging up. And I think we've probably built, as far as industrial stuff is concerned, we've probably built about all we can for food production without completely redesigning everything. Or just extending it over this side of the reservoir, which I'm not really opposed to, but I'm not sure is going to be the best looking solution. We'll see what happens. We definitely got a lot to figure out here. Alright, so in the interest of, you know, actually getting this accomplished before I go to time-lapse, let's go ahead and prioritize this so they can take the trees out and we can start putting in farm stuff. I really like how this turned out here. I know it's not perfectly centered, but I like patterns and stuff. So while we don't need to continue growing all of this stuff, I do think I'm going to do some sort of alternating corn eggplant type thing, maybe with a little bit of cassava as well into this area, and we will see what ends up having to happen. So before you make a comment about it, I know I don't have to have the leftover stumps marked for removal by the builders, whatever. It's just easier to click and drag. I know I can just build paths over it, but then I have to delete the paths, and this is something fun I can just look at, and it ends up looking pretty cool. So with that knowledge in the front of our minds here, I think we might want to try something here where I move these farmhouses into the middle here. And I know I could put the paths in there as well, but I like the idea of making smart use of our little river bits here. Plus having the paths is going to be a good thing as well. I don't have to have this go all the way across this way. I was actually going to have this extend here. So there's really not that much land lost to pathing, and these two farmhouses here should have no problem with long growth cycle crops like corn and eggplant, because that's 10 and 12 days respectively. I think it's just going to be some nice stuff. Plus I can plant, what is this here? Eggplant and corn. I can put some more eggplant. I can put some more corn in the middle here, and that'll be fine. So, they still have to work on this. Let's take a look at how we might want to make these things stack up. Remember that the farmhouses are going to be there. So, if I did cassava here, I know centering around our farmhouses here. Cassava. Then I've got space in the middle for 3 rows because I have this path here. I could actually make it symmetrical, but that would probably not be super efficient. I don't know. It might look nice too. So, you know, it's not a crime to have stuff look interesting. In fact, before we get too comfortable with ourselves here, if we're going to, you know, commit to the bit, as the kids say, make it reflecty match. That's not a real word. It is now. So, trying to remember how I'm going to have this set up here. I guess in the middle, oh, you know what we could do is we could alternating rows going that way. That might look kind of cool, even if it's not, you know, the perfect thing. But corn there, eggplant there, and then just alternate. And I guess I could put another row of cassava like that. Hopefully, this ends up actually looking pretty good once all's said and done. I am going to move the explosives. We did talk about that. So this is eggplant. This is going to have to end up being corn. And then I guess the outside could also end up being eggplant again. This lumberjack flag does not need to be here, so say goodbye to that. Then I did say this was going to be eggplant, so that works out nicely there. This, of course, is going to be eggplant. This is going to be corn. And that's going to be eggplant. Again, I know it's not symmetrical. It's going to be okay. Going to be fine. See, the dynamite I do have, or I did have a storage for over here until I messed it all up. So, why did I have this as a ladder down here again? I think that's because of the way this was set up. Yeah, I'm just gonna fix this real quick. Because now this is probably the only real usage of the dynamite that we're going to have is over there. So empty that out. They still haven't finished these things. I guess that's fine. They got other stuff going on. I want to know where all of the treated planks are going if they're not going into the Earth Repopulator. So I know the berries, thankfully, have gone into making more beavers, which is necessary. I love these lanterns. Just the swaying looks really, really good. I know if you have the rotating sun mod, then that will make stuff look a little bit better. But that is also a performance just dog. So I'm not trying to turn this into Water Reavers 2.0 in terms of having 3, 4, 5 FPS. Chugging along right now at a blistering 53, which I guess for you guys watching a video on YouTube that's capped at 60 FPS is fantastic. But this monitor will do 165, so it's a little bit jarring to me to see the difference, but still looks good. So not really any room to complain there. Looks like this is just about ready to welcome the farmers in the middle. A reminder that we are going to remove these 2 farmhouses here. I might leave that guy in the corner there just because I'm not going to put that right in the flow of water, even though I don't think the building would really care unless it was actually flooded. All right, so that's good. That's good. Away you go. Take these street lanterns out because we're going to replace them with other stuff. And then I said we're going to put corn. But you know what? I'll put 2 little eggplants right there too, just so we have that that symmetry maintained. But I really like separating these things into rows here. I think that looks really fantastic. So out goes that, and of course we can continue putting all of our different plants in here. Got corn there, and these 2 rows are eggplant. And then I've got, in terms of the symmetry, I've got this kind of leftover bit here. So I could grow some other stuff. I think, honestly, it probably is going to need to be cassava. But since it's far enough away... Oh, we can't forget to prioritize the farmhouses by haulers. Absolutely need to make sure we take care of that. It's far enough away from these farmhouses that I don't know... Depending on how the rest of this grows, I don't know that this is actually going to get picked in time when it's growing. But I'll tell you what, let's continue our pattern here. I'll put another row of corn, and then I can put in a row of cassava, because that is what I ended up doing, kind of over here. Oh, another bad tide, back to back to back, huh? Another row of corn, another row of eggplant. Wow, they came in quick to put that in. Yeah, remember where I said I was going to have more cassava, and then I didn't do it? Yep, okay, me too. Well, symmetry would dictate that this ends up being corn, but I don't think we're going to care. Cassava it is. Alright, so now we have some really nice-looking farmland. I think that is quite good. You know, I could have put other paths going across the water here, but I honestly think this is fine. This isn't really going to be growing fast enough for that to be an issue anyway. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unpause this Earth Repopulator here, let them get everything situated, and we're going to do a little bit more decorating, and then we're going to start the end of episode time-lapse. Gasp! But, can I fit... Let's see here... Okay, I can't do math. There. That is going to be a very nice looking farm area here. I'm not even going to need to put the street lanterns in. But on this side I will, because that's what I did before. Right, like so. Yeah, look at this. I just love how this looks. How many times can I say that before you guys tell me to stop talking about it? Let's find out. But isn't this just so inviting? You just imagine you're a beaver farmer. Like, this is your view when you come into the office every day, so to speak. Isn't that lovely? Very, very nice. So, like I said, we're going to start our end of episode time-lapse here. Doesn't mean the episode's over yet. It just means that we are now in the position where there's not going to be a whole lot more we can do without just time-lapsing. So, we're going to let them do that, let these crops grow in, and hopefully get this Earth Repopulator loaded and ready to go in time for the end of the episode, however long it takes. We have a bad tide coming up, so I imagine I'll just end up time-lapsing through the rest of this bad tide, even though we're 2 days away from the start as I'm sitting here talking into the microphone. But yeah, like I said before, all of this stuff to get the crops grown in and see the benefits of everything that's being produced just takes time. It always does. That's why we have the motto we have, and why I thought it would be fun to put it on the mugs and all that. But it really is an exercise in patience. Or I guess for me, because I get to sit here watching it for an hour or whatever, and then you guys just see it in a time lapse that takes, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes, depending on how long I talk in the middle of it. But it really does give you an appreciation for just the simple things that this game has to offer. And part of the reason why it's so much fun is you get to watch the colony grow and develop because of, and sometimes in spite of, how you decide to play the game. So I'm very, very thankful that we get to spend this time with each other, enjoy this fantastic game, and all of the fun. It's been, what, 3 years? A little over 3 years since I first started doing Timberborn videos, and obviously it wasn't what I set out to do here on YouTube, but we had, I guess, a happy accident with the beavers in terms of it becoming the most dominant thing on the channel. And it's really, really led to some really enjoyable moments in my life, and hopefully for you guys as well, as we enjoy the community we've built here. So I really just want to take the time to make sure every single episode I let you guys know how much I appreciate you, and how much I appreciate everything you do for me personally and for growing the channel. We passed 16,000 subscribers over the Christmas holiday. And of course I did take a couple days off from making videos to spend time with family, because that's very important. But it's very good to be back, and back with you, back with the beavers, back with all the fun that we always have here. So of course Beard Boosters as well, directly supporting the channel and making it possible for me to do stuff like this. So really appreciate you folks. Even if you're not part of that list, I am very glad you're here. Anytime you want to come and watch videos, you are absolutely welcome. But all that being said, let's go ahead and come out of the time lapse and hopefully fire off the Earth Repopulator. We'll see what happens. Okay, so finally, after a very long time spent in time-lapse recording, cycle 59, day 13, 1.4 days left until a bad tide begins, and yes, we are very close to having the Earth Repopulator all stocked up, ready to go. Just need another 11 berries, which at one point were sitting down here. I guess we're loading those into the advanced breeding pods at this point, but I'm gonna go ahead and say let's maybe not jump the gun too much, but I am gonna set this off for the end of this episode. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on what we got done during our time lapse here, as the sun goes down, so you can't really see too much of anything. But you know, I remember to put these guys in here, and then also the street lanterns. Put another little bit of decoration with these 1x2 roofing pieces here over our pumps, so that these beavers always have that benefit as well. Went ahead and took down the power shaft on the backside here, because, you know, we just really don't need this. But it seems they've left some of the stuff on the ground because there isn't really room for it, which is fine, I suppose. Alright, come on. Come on, you guys. get this thing ready to go, because I really, really want to make sure that we can have this going. There we go. 495, 498, 500. Okay. So, 0.8 days left. You know the drill, folks. We're going to set this thing off, and we're going to yeet 8 beavers into the void in the name of repopulating the Earth. I'm going to turn off the overlay while we watch this go. This is a really, really cool thing. So I haven't actually done this in a video. We did it in a live stream over the summer. But yeah, this thing rotates all the way around and launches these gliders off. Is a really cool looking thing. And I love these quote-unquote end-of-game wonders so much. A really, really thoughtful, fun addition to the game. So this will make a full rotation. We'll kind of follow this around here. And I guess if I'm really, really smart thinking about this, I would have had my screenshot thing going. All right, well, that's going to be better than nothing, at least. Let's use that for a thumbnail. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's going to send all those guys all the way around, and then it folds right back up and gets packed and loaded for the next time you're able to send out 500 berries and treated planks. And there we go. Well done. Your technological prowess allowed you to utilize industrious strengths of the Iron Teeth, conquer the map, and build the faction's wonder. Pioneers flew away over the wasteland, leaving the thriving settlement behind them. If Earth is to recover, the newfound beaver prosperity needed to be shared. So, yeah, this is what the map looked like when we started. Kind of hard to believe, given how much we've changed it. But, wow, 1,245 days, 2,501 beavers born, 419,362 water consumed, 5,247 tails painted, 141,730 trees cut, 135 broken teeth, 0 bots manufactured, and 3,255 dynamite detonated. I love this recap screen thing. Obviously, we're not done with the series yet. Still a little bit more I think we'd like to do. So we'll have at least a couple more episodes. But let me know, what do you want to see us do still in this playthrough? Obviously, the whole bit with getting the population up to 500 still needs to be a thing. Food is very stable at this point. There's a couple of adjustments we could make, but I'm pretty confident now that this has been set up the way it's been set up, we can support 500 beavers. So we just have to get the berries to, you know, not all go into the Earth Repopulator and see what's going to happen that way. But that's going to be the end of this episode. Like I said during the time-lapse, I really appreciate you guys so much. It has been such a joy getting to play this game so much in 2024. And there's plenty more to come next year, don't worry. We'll be back in this series on Monday, which I believe is December 30th, if I'm doing my math correctly, excuse me. And that'll be the last episode of that series in 2024. Of course, we do have the Apocalypse Mode series that is now 2 episodes skipped this week because of the holiday and being busy taking care of important things. But we're going to have that episode tomorrow, and we get a lot of stuff to do in that one. So hopefully everything goes well, and we'll be able to have a good continuation of that series. But like I said, that's it. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Whatever it is you're doing, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.